What's going on, beautiful jellyfish? It's Tracy. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. And, well, we just can't really, we can't really, avoid what this video is about because in the title. So we just kind of get to the point. Basically, so my local game store closed, and I've been sitting on this information for a very long time. And I actually started to film this video literally months ago. And couldn't do it, which I don't really ever have things like that, so that was a change. But yeah, so it's not great. Basically what happened is, I don't want to give away too many details because I really don't think it's my place to share a lot of these things. And even with my friends and stuff like that who go there, I think I have a little bit more information than some other people do, and I think I don't feel comfortable sharing because I just don't think it's my place to. But basically, part of this is a big, large piece of this is because of COVID, and I know that myself and a lot of our other friends were wanting to support our LGS, and we would donate money and stuff like that. And we were trying to be really helpful and whatnot and getting it. But one of my really good friends who's been featured in a bunch of my videos, my good friend Chuck, they actually just moved, which is really sad. And that's just been another thing that's just been oh, that's a huge bummer. They're really good friends of ours, and they just moved, and he was one of the people who was helping keep the store going. And so there's multiple moving pieces, and him leaving is one of the reasons that things are not moving in that direction. And I just feel for me, and I'm sure a lot of you also feel this way, is it wasn't just oh, a place that I went to. It wasn't just what it was this. To me, it was a really big deal because I also feel being a woman in the Magic community is, I've heard other stories of people just not feeling comfortable in their LGS. And that really breaks my heart, and that really hurts me because I don't have that experience. I love my community, and I love all the guys that I play with, or all the people, I should say, that I play with. Mainly they're guys. And I just feel I built that community. And I think for me, it's about starting over. I don't want to start over. I built up this level of confidence back at my local game store in Connecticut, and I built up this confidence, and then I had extremely bad situations happen that made me not want to go there, which is awful. And if you've never felt like that before, I hope you never have to feel a place that you feel safe at is no longer safe, because it's awful. And if you want to know more details about what happened, if I remember, I will list a video in the down below, but I do not make promises, so that might not happen. But for us moving and finding something, I was so excited to find a local game store because one of the reasons that we moved, we moved because of a lot of reasons, and I think when people ask, we give very short, simple answers, but there was a lot of factors. And to be honest with you guys, where I lived, Paul lived, there was not really anything by, you know what I mean? The place that we went that was it. And one of the things that I was so excited about moving was I got to start over at a new place. Did that, made all these great friends, and obviously before COVID, we would have our friends over our house every month, and we would host, and I love hosting, and I miss hosting so much. And we had actually scheduled a party, and it was going to be in August. This was done at a time where we felt we were vaccinated, and we felt really safe at the time. And we were really excited to do it. We were really excited to see our friends. And then all of this stuff, we're in stage 5 right now, and I'm just back to feeling a little bit uneasy and a little bit unsafe. I obviously feel a lot safer being vaccinated, but I'm still just just trying to, we're taking this very seriously, so we've decided not to do that. So that was another piece as well, where I was just so excited to get back into the routine. Another thing is, we were Paul and I are actually creating our own D&D campaign, which is so incredibly exciting. I'm sure a bunch of you guys play D&D as well, because I feel like a lot of people who play Magic also play D&D. And which, by the way, if you guys want a video on that, I would honestly, I think that'd be really fun to do. It would be like an extra video. It wouldn't count as my video for the week, but let me know if that would be something that you guys would be interested in. Because Paul and I are actually creating our own campaign. We're not basing this off of anything. The only thing we're pulling is like, you know, loot that they find, we're monsters, things like that, but we're, you know, doing that. But anyways, we're so excited to do this campaign. We're doing it with our good friends Trav and Mag, and they have a son who's young. And then we were also doing this with my friend Elliot and his wife, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be like so cool, it'll be like us. And then they have a newborn, and it just, Trav was like, I don't feel like comfortable, like I think even with the majority of us being vaccinated, and like obviously the kids cannot be, and so we canceled that. And I was so excited about that, and then that just got like let down, you know what I mean? And I'm sure I know that I'm not alone, and I've done like updates videos where, you know, we've been talking, you know, I've done videos like this before, we just talked about like the progression of things and like, you know, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's just been like, it's been really hard. And I think like, gosh, it bums me out that I think so many people are just so like done with things, you know what I mean? Like so many people are just at that breaking point where they're just like done. And like, gosh, I just feel like overall it's been a really, really challenging time. And I think everyone has been in such a different state based on where you live, based on the people you know, based on how old you are. Like there's so many things that go into this. And just stay safe, wear a mask, social distance, get vaccinated if you can. Like just be really safe about this, because it's just, this whole thing has just been so hard on so many people. And I think I mentioned this in like one of my other videos, that the thing that really bothered me is like people were like complaining about these social distancing restrictions, but they were still doing stuff. And it's like, not to say that you should feel bad for us, but like we haven't like really seen anyone. Like there was like that window where we were like going out to eat at restaurants, and we were like, you know, we were hanging out with very limited people who were also vaccinated, and like that was literally it. And we had our wedding, and I felt comfortable at our wedding, and gosh, now I'm like in a state again where I'm just not comfortable anymore, and I'm just like feeling really anxious about it, you know? There's been so much that's been going on, you know? But I really like to know how you guys are doing, and, you know, leave me a comment and like let me know how you're like, you know, staying and whatnot. Cause I mean, where I am in Austin is we're in stage 5, and, you know, I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with like, because I know you know, if you live in a different state, like wherever you're based on, you usually keep up with like your state's requirements and regulations, all that sort of stuff. But like Texas has just, you know, made a bunch of orders and said that masks cannot be required. It's just, there's a lot of things going on, and it's just, yeah. So that has been like this whole aspect of it, which has been really frustrating. And so I'd really like to know how you guys are doing with like where you're living at and stuff like that, because I think like I'll see like some people that are just like, oh, doing like, you know, things are like more normal for them, and then I'm like, oh, that's really nice, you know. But I guess it just depends on like where you are and if you're vaccinated or not, and what's your status and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so it's just been like there's been a lot going on, and I think like I'm bummed about like my like safe haven, like, or a safe haven for me, that's no longer there. And I guess like what our next steps are is basically what we have, Paul and I have discussed this, because we were trying to like problem solve and like troubleshoot whatever we wanted to do, is there are obviously other game stores by us. And so what I think we are going to do when we feel safe and we feel comfortable is when we do decide to go back to the Magic scene again, is one thing that we would really like to do is I would really like to just go, especially at the beginning, with like other people that I know. I said this before, I'm not very good around new people. I get just very anxious, and I do not like to sit down in a game of Commander with people I do not know. So whenever I talk about like loving Commander and playing Commander, it's like it's with my friends, like it's with people that I know who they are as people, I know their Commander decks, like it's just, that's what I like to do. And so I feel as though I don't want to just step into a situation and just have a really negative experience and like make me feel really insecure. Because I think the thing is ultimately, yeah, could I have people over and sit in my kitchen table and literally play Magic? Yeah, absolutely. But I like going to a local game store. I like interacting with other people. I feel like I say that, but then it's like, well, sure, I like interacting with people that I know and people that I feel comfortable with. And I like going and checking out products, and I like having an LGS to like support. So that's something that we've talked about. We also have talked about, you know, checking out a couple of different shops, and you know, some of my friends too have even said like, hey, like check out this place or whatever. So we have a couple of places in our head that we're like thinking about when we choose to go back out. And so that's like one piece to that. And the other thing that we also talked about is, you know, if this doesn't work or anything like that, we can always just host more. Maybe host like every 3 weeks or so at our house. And, you know, we love having people over, and like, you know, we can do that sort of thing. So yeah, it's just been like a bummer and a lot of stuff. So yeah, but that's kind of my little chat with you guys today. I really like to know how you guys are doing. Like, keep me posted in a comment, because one really cool thing about having a smaller channel is having like a community that I know and names that I recognize all the time and people who comment all the time. So I really like to know how you guys are doing with everything, and be safe, wear a mask, social distance, and yeah, that's it for me, guys. I'll see you guys later.